don't quit your day job. It's not that hard to understand. But right now, everybody, and I mean everybody, is going into Pokemon full time. And it might be the biggest mistake that you can make if you can't survive the inevitable crash. Let's get into that. But first, my name's Jake. This is Rocket's Return. Welcome or welcome back. Before we get started, we're going to open one pack of Perfect Order. I got my booster box in. Two of them, actually. You can see one here, and there's one up here that I decided I wanted to open. And I've been enjoying a pack a day. So let's see where we are. Let's get rid of this. And this. I've opened like a pack a day with this set, and I've gotten nothing. Let's see. Scatterbug. I'm literally doing this in the reflection of the Apple symbol on my phone. Haunter. Nosepass. Nope. Probopass. Probopass. Snorlax. Drapion? Yep. Trainer. No clue. Aromatisse, maybe? Aromatisse. Snorlax again. And these two. Auroras. I want that IR. It's gone down significantly in price, but I think that IR is actually a beautiful, beautiful card. I don't treat all my Pokemon cards like that. What I wanted to talk about is there's a lot of people leaving their 9-to-5 to pursue Pokemon. Or just TCG in general. And don't get me wrong, it's really cool, and I understand the appeal. You don't have a boss, you're your own boss anyway. You get to make your own rules, you buy your own product, you sell it, etc., etc. Cool. You don't want to work the 9-to-5. Well, if you have a problem with that, welcome to working 9 to 10 every day, all day. Especially if you're doing something like content. First, there's the card portion, there's the actual business portion, then there's the content portion. I have some notes over here, so if you see me staring that way, that's why, because I'm reading them, because I've already sidetracked myself, and I'm not trying to have a 25-minute video. There's multiple different spaces within this big space. There's vending, there's online, like Whatnot, eBay, Fanatics, anything like that. Content creation. And for some of the, very few, opening an actual LGS. And even that is kind of become a big thing right now. My LGS is a guy who's been open for a little over a year. He was pursuing this before this massive boom hit, and he was doing well. And of course, when the big boom hit, he started doing great. He is very much a for the hobby kind of person for everybody. Magic, One Piece, Pokemon, Union, you name it, he's about it. The only thing I wish he would do, Chris, if you ever see this, get Dragon Ball. Please. He consistently gets product in from his distributor, and from that point on, a lot of people started selling these crazy market prices that, most LGSs did their time of selling below or at MSRP and not turning that much profit. And now they have the chance to do it, and people are mad about it, which I kind of understand that side too. But one thing that my LGS does is when he gets into stuff, the first round goes for MSRP. And then when he gets more, he sells it at like 75 to 80%. Which is awesome because nobody does that now. Everybody wants 90 to 100% of market when they're buying, selling, etc. But what happens to all these businesses that are being started when the crash comes? It's going to come. It's going to happen. One of the things that I will say about this kind of situation is there is a lot of people who are bigger in this space, I'll use some of the biggest for example. So Coop's Collectibles, Oyama's Trading, and Jar Chomp. I use two of the biggest ones and one like pretty big one. Okay. I don't really, this isn't for people like them. This is for your new guy. This is for you who's probably sitting here watching this and wants to like quit their day job because they vended a weekend. No. These guys have some time in this hobby. They've built multiple channels of income. There's multiple streams of income coming to them, whether it be streaming, vending, online sales, merchandise, content, all of that. They're doing all of this. These people aren't just doing one or two things. If you're talking about quitting your 9 to 5 and you've only been doing this for a few months, I highly recommend you listen to what I'm about to say. This space is loaded with people right now who want to do exactly what you're doing. And some of them are going to do it and they're going to fail. And some of them are going to do it and they're going to do it better. And some of them are going to do it like my opinion it should be right now for a lot of people. They're going to do it as a side hustle. That's kind of what my thing, you know? Yes, there's the collector part of me, but there's also the side hustle part where I grade things to sell them and I take that money and put it back into my hobby. That's another channel you can use. There are people who grade and sell and flip and all this other stuff. Sealed product, raw, it doesn't matter. But what happens when everything goes down? Because it will. Eventually it will. We're in a very rough economy right now, which means eventually when bills have to get paid, hobbies and passions have to take a backseat. I'm going through that right now where I have some stuff that I have to take care of first before just dumping a ton of money into Pokemon. Now, don't get me wrong, I have plenty around me and I'm not stressing it. I'm not worried about missing out. What happens when it crashes? Can you last? Not every one of these LGSs that's opened up is going to make it through it. Just not going to happen. Some of them are going to fail. And we live in a time where it's really difficult to find a job. The average amount of time it takes to find a job right now is 6 months, 27 weeks. That's a long time to go without a consistent, steady income or just income in general. Don't get me wrong, I don't think you should go into your own business anyway unless you can survive for 6 months if something fails. But not everybody thinks that way. Are you going to survive that crash? What happens when the big checks stop rolling in and you're just get by money? You're going to try to pull things and say, oh, I'm going to sell this product for, I'm priced at like $20 higher than market. And while there's product on the shelves, everybody's going to go to Walmart. Everybody's going to go somewhere else and you're going to lose money. So before you just hop in to, quitting a job and going full force into Pokemon or a TCG hobby or collectibles in general, set some goals for yourself. See if you accomplish them. And if you accomplish them, set bigger ones and do that for like a year. Because you're probably not vending all the time. You're probably vending on the weekends. And if you have success on the weekends, start keeping track of, okay, well, I had to travel, so that cost this much. Keep track of all those things, all that money, all those bills, all the stuff you have to spend, food, hotel, gas, or a flight. Keep track of those things. And look at how much you're actually making. And remember, those things don't go away when you start doing this. As a matter of fact, they normally become more frequent. So before you just jump into this hobby and say, oh, I'm a vendor and this is my business, just remember, if you're still working a 9 to 5, this is your side hustle. Okay, you can call it your business, that's fine. But if you're just a collector selling, you're just a collector selling. If you're not rotating and flipping and all that, you're not really, contrary to Jar Chomp's video saying that you're a business owner, you're not really a business owner. You're just a collector who's churning a profit in order to continue growing their collection. And if it's all for you, then you're not really a business. You're just kind of doing what everybody else does and selling something to get something bigger. I don't see a problem with that, but a lot of people seem to argue with it. Like I said, use this as like a side hustle, or you can call it a side business. Sure, we'll call it a business. Use it as your side hustle and do that for a year or two and see how that goes. For all you know, we might hit that crash and you might be super thankful that you still have your job, because a lot of people won't. I work in manufacturing. We do everything: military, space, food, airplanes, computers, AI. I feel like my job is pretty safe right now. And we're growing. This company I work for they're already big and they're just getting bigger. Eventually that may change a little bit, but right now we got so much work that we're on a ton of overtime trying to catch up. And I keep telling myself, I have the product to go into Pokemon full time. But is that smart right now? Am I gonna make the same money that I make at my current job? Because I'm not a salary employee. I'm an hourly employee, which means that for every bit of that overtime I work, I get paid for it. Is it worth me doing this? Could it ruin my hobby for me? Like if I turn this into a business, is it going to ruin how I feel about it? It could. It very well could. It takes away from my significant other. It takes away from my friends. Do I want to do that? My job already takes away from my friends. Do I want it to do it more? Probably not. These are little questions, but they're all things you should ask yourself before you get in to just doing this full time. I hope that one day I can look around where I've started in this little room up against a corner of a wall. Not even a corner. I'm up against a wall, and just outside of the frame, there's a door that leads out of this room, because the room that I'm in is terribly designed for this. One day I hope to look around and go, this is where I started, and look at what I've built. But right now I know that's not the time. I'm not saying you shouldn't ever start your own Pokemon business or your own trading card or LGS or anything. I'm just saying right now it's super easy. And if you're not prepped for the hard stuff, don't do it. Set some goals, work through this the way it is for the next year or two, see what happens to the market. Because when that first crash comes, you might panic. And if you don't have the clientele built up, use this 2 years to build that clientele up. Because if you don't, it could be one of the harshest snapback to reality you've ever had. Next thing you know, bills are falling behind. If you have a family, you're struggling to do that. Now, if you have a spouse who makes significant amounts of money that they can support you and the family while you do your business venture, go for it. But if you're not in that place, it's a cruel world right now, and it's cold out there. Our our economy is not stellar, and it's really not in all places in the world. Everywhere is pretty rough right now. Maybe don't quit the couple of steady things you have, and consider, hey, right now may not be the time. If it is the time, go for it, and I hope you succeed. I don't want this to be doom and gloom, because it kind of sounds like it. But if you can succeed, I hope you do. And I hope it's everything you want it to be. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to keep it real with you. I do not want to hear that people were failing and they can't find a job and they can't support their kids. It's not an easy place to be. I left my job a year and a half ago in search of something new. And I told myself, I'll be able to find one easy. I have a really good background. I do. I have a lot of class. I have a lot of learnings. I have a ton of learnings that I did. I have good experience. I'm good at what I do. Not tooting my own horn, but I am. And it still took me 5.5 months to find a job. Employers are pickier than ever. And that's because the employees or future employees are more expensive than ever. So with the way it's currently going, maybe now's not the time. Maybe in the future. See how it goes. We're going to open up one more pack of this and then I'm going to go. Because it's almost time for me to go sleep. One more pack of perfect order. Let's just straight to the thing. Energy, water energy. All right. Oh, what is it? Binacle, whatever you want to call them. Rowlet. Jaw fossil. Okay. Amora. I gotta get better at holding cards so they don't all just get seen. Raticate. Some trainer. Barbaracle. Ghastly reverse hollow. And... ooh. Probopass IR. Beautiful little card. We will stick that in a sleeve and slide it right in the binder. Probably a little $2 card. Still, cool colors. The silver and the blues, and this art is the new generation art is very beautiful. You can't really beat the classics and the vintage, but the new stuff is so cool. As somebody who's been a Pokemon fan their whole life, this is everything I've ever wanted. Full-size Pokemon cards that are not just the Pokemon. It's everything. And a holographic Tyrantrum. Anyway, guys, that's the end of it. I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm just saying I hope that if you do, it works out for you. And there are a lot of things to consider before you jump into this. Appreciate your time. See you in the next one. Peace.